Hi, Matt. Good to see you. What's happening?
Hey boys,
Hey up, Matt.
things.
Yeah, we're all good. Keeping busy. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, back in Southampton, been home this week quite a bit, so it's been nice to spend some time home. I've done a lot of travelling the last few weeks with work and golf and things, so
Yeah,
yeah, a bit more of a chilled week for me this one.
yeah, nice, nice. Sounds good. Uh, what's happening, James? Anything to report? Is there anything in the news that we need to that's happening currently that we need to be aware of?
Well,
Or
at the minute, I'm just excited about the gold silver ratio. At the minute, to tell you the
Mm,
truth, it's gone quite high, hasn't it? Um,
yeah,
we're not just so anybody watching this. We're not talking about the price of gold and silver. We're talking about the ratio between gold and silver. But the ratio's gone down to like 86. It's 87. I think it's still 86, 87 today.
hmm
And a lot of our customers have been switching gold for silver and gaining free metals from doing it. You know, we've had some big switches, haven't we, had them recently? And it was a
yeah,
couple of weeks ago, it went up to that, a couple of weeks ago too. And there was a lot of
mm,
switching doing that. So we're just obviously encouraging our followers, our customers to actively switch when they do have the opportunity, you know, because
mm,
it makes a big difference. I was speaking to a customer yesterday and she was buzzing.
mm.
She was just like, why would buy it? Thinking, oh, you know, just the difference it makes, especially over time. You know, we've only been switching for 2 years now, but the difference it's made for our customers already is just amazing, and we don't talk about it enough. But that's what I'm buzzing about at the minute. I've sort of
Mm.
just been focused on that the last few days, nothing else really. But yeah,
Yeah, great.
Brilliant.
good.
Well, today, Matt, we just want to talk about something that most people don't consider when they're starting out. We definitely didn't
Yeah,
consider it. It's something that we learned about through, I guess, mistakes, our own mistakes, and that's storage. Because when you're buying physical metals, they're exactly that. They're physical, and you have to think about where you're going to put them. Like
Yeah,
investing in a lot of different things, whatever you like to do in a stock market, ISAs, different things. You don't have to think about storage, even with property. I mean, the house is where it is.
mm.
yeah,
Not many people chuck it
Yeah,
on a skateboard and move it down the road, do they? So, um, whereas with metals, you have got to consider where you're going to put them.
Mm.
Where are you going to stick them? Um, with all of this stuff, as we always say, look, this is not financial advice.
Yeah,
This is education, information. It's just what we've done, our experience. We explain what we do and why we do it. And we also have the benefit of a community of people and we share their experiences as well. Some will tell you a few interesting things that people have come up against um,
yeah,
when looking
yeah,
at different storage options that we've learned about.
mm.
So
Yeah.
I
And it
guess,
would have
look,
benefited us, Adam, wouldn't it? If we'd have known this right at the beginning, it would have it would have shortened our journey. Would have got to where we wanted to be a lot quicker. It would have been really good
yeah,
to know what we're going to share today at the very beginning.
yeah.
You
okay,
know,
Well, I
that's
guess
good.
it's a good place to start, really. Let's kind of do this chronologically. And
mm.
James, when you first started buying metals, you were buying silver mainly. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, a bit of gold, but silver, yeah, yeah,
Um, and keeping it at home.
yeah,
And I guess
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
Matt, throughout all
That's
of
I
not
this,
loved it
something
at
you want to
first.
really public, is it? Let's be honest.
No,
no, no,
no,
well, not now. We don't obviously do
no,
any
not
of
having
this,
it at home
this thing
anymore.
now.
But yeah, well, we have a
Um,
little bit set aside, but not even at home. But yeah,
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 and it was most people want to buy metals to feel more secure, which we get from the banking system, and that all
yeah,
makes sense. But then the experience was that once you get to a certain amount of metal in your home, and that's going to be individual, personal to everyone, you start to feel more insecure
insecure.
because
Yeah,
you now feel more vulnerable. You've got this metal in your home, and you went from kind of one place of not feeling great to, questioning what you're doing at the other side.
yeah.
Um,
yeah.
and what do you do? Do you keep it all in your house and never go out? Or do you take it all with you and you're clinking down the high street with all this metal?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's,
that's exactly what I was doing. Exactly what I was doing in my other half was she started questioning me, going, "Why aren't you leaving the house?" And when I was, why are you walking about with this rucksack all the time?
so it's
But yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a physical problem that needs to be
yes,
solved. So the whole umbrella for us is about feeling more secure and more protected.
yeah,
So having everything in your home, for us, it doesn't tick that box of feeling more secure and more protected. It does the opposite of that. So then you solve one problem, but you create another. And this is what our journey kind of has gone through.
Yeah.
So saying that, there's no right or wrong answer to all of this. We're never going to say you should do this. No, because I mean, we had somebody that called us up. I remember the guy who was in Australia. He said, look, I want 1 bar of gold. This is the size that I want. I'm going to dig a hole in the garden and bury it. And I just said, look, if that's what you want to do and that's how you feel secure, go for it. We're never going to tell you that you shouldn't do that. But you've got to think about the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. Like if it's buried in the garden, let's take that example, then you want to sell it. What are you going to do? You've got to dig it up, first of all. You've then got to take it to somewhere. You've got to work out what price they're going to give you. You're kind of on your own a little bit. It's a manual process. You've got to do each step on your own, work it all out. You've got to take it somewhere, whatever. Which, if you're happy with that, totally fine. Just be aware of it. For us, we don't want everything at home. Equally, we don't want everything kind of in a vault or in another option. So for us, it makes us kind of feel the most secure having a very small amount close by. Not have it in our home, we just have it close by, small amount, and the vast majority in the vault. And the reasons for that is we'd like to have a little bit near us just in case, trying to cover as many options as possible. But the vast majority being in the vault because it gives us so much flexibility. So if we want to sell these metals, we can, within a few clicks, we can sell them back to the company that we bought them from and have cash in our bank account within a couple of days. So we don't need to take them somewhere. We don't, and they guarantee to give us the best price. So we've got that bit boxed off. Also, if we want to switch, which we love doing, and there's massive benefits to doing, we can do that when it's in the vault. You know, imagine if it's buried in your garden, you want to switch, you got to dig. I think your neighbours would get a bit suspicious. You're digging the garden every 2 minutes, wanting to switch and all this kind of stuff. And the hole's getting bigger and bigger because you're accumulating more metal. It's just a logistical issue.
So, and you don't pay VAT on silver either, which is a massive one again.
Yes. Yeah, we need to mention that. So buying silver and holding it in your hand, you pay the sales tax or VAT. So UK is 20%. If you store it in a vault, in the right type of vault, you don't pay that 20%. So you get 20% more for your money just by storing it in the right place. Which, I mean, who doesn't want to save 20%? You know, you're trying to make your money go as far as possible. So that's a huge advantage. Now, one thing about keeping it in your home is insuring it. Very, very, very difficult to do. In fact, we've never had anybody successfully insure metals with their contents insurance, their home insurance. And there's one guy that one of our customers that said, called us up and said, hey, just wanted to let you know, I've spoken to my home insurance provider, and I've said to them, I'm considering, I haven't done it yet, but I'm considering having some metals in my home. What would you say about that? Would you insure it? What's the price? Blah, blah, blah. What's the process? And they put him on hold and, you know, went to speak to whoever, and he listened to some lovely music on hold for a while. And then they came back and said, not only will we not insure you if you have gold in your home, but we're also cancelling your insurance now as well. And he said, hang on a minute, just to let you know, I've not done it. I'm just inquiring about it. And they said, yep, we fully understand the situation. Because you've spoken about it, we're cancelling your insurance. And he was gobsmacked, like we were when we heard, and I'm sure you are, Matt, and everyone watching, that they would do that. So, I mean, it turns out he got home insurance with somebody else, and it was fine. But that was just suggesting having metals in his home, which is quite strange, isn't it? You know, imagine if you said, I'm thinking about buying a painting or thinking about buying a car, and I'm wanting to know what the insurance, can I get a quote? And they said, oh, you're considering buying a car? We won't insure you on your current car. Or you're considering having a painting in your house? We now cancelling your insurance. It's so strange.
Wow.
Yeah, really strange. And that's something that one of our customers came to us and said, hey, just a heads up, don't do it. Don't ring your insurance company.
Don't tell them. If you're going to do that, don't tell them.
My goodness.
Yeah. It shows you the value of gold, doesn't it? It shows you the real value of it.
Yeah, real alarm bells. Real alarm bells. Which means that the view I take from that is, if you're having metals in your home, you need to be comfortable with losing all of them, because you're not covered.
Yeah.
No one's going to cover you. So it's you, yourself, and I, or whatever. I guess that's the reason that we also like to keep the majority of our metals in the vault, is because they are insured. The company insuring them knows what they are. They're not kind of worried, or there's the insurance value is more than we'll ever have, and we're insured 100%. So, like cash in the bank, you're insured, 85,000 in the UK. If anything should happen, well, this is unlimited. It's 100% of the value of your metals. So that just gives us a peace of mind and solves that problem of the uncertainty of having it all in your home.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm absolutely gobsmacked that the insurance company would do that just because he was thinking about doing something.
Yeah.
His home insurance, that's absolutely astounding to me.
Yeah. You have to be careful what you disclose, I guess.
It's almost like the insurance companies are actively discouraging people from buying metals. Now, why would they do that?
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
It's it's an interesting one. It was one of the more extreme kind of bits of feedback that we've had, but it's always stuck with me because it was so bizarre. And I think there was just like moments of silence on the phone when he was got the information. He was just like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. So for us, that's what we look at. We just look at what the options are and where you are best protected, where you are best looked after. Ideally you want the benefits of the vault, of the insurance and all this kind of stuff, and also to have it in your hand in some bizarre way, but that's not possible as far as we've seen. So you have to say, look, what are the most important things? What's the top on my priority list? And go for the solution that ticks the most boxes. I know that's a really logical, boring way of doing it, but that's what you have to do. Also, if you think,
like a lot of things in life, you've got to make your choices and you've got to weigh up the pros and cons. And hardly anything in life is ever a perfect decision. You've got to make some compromise along the way.
True.
Yeah, exactly. When we first started learning this, we weighed up cash in a bank under somebody else's control, paper currency just gets hammered by inflation, or precious metal in a vault. Nobody's lending it out. It's ours. It's physically ours. It's under our control. We weighed that up, and it wasn't hard to work out that precious metals in a vault is better than cash in a bank. Hands down.
Absolutely.
And another thing that we've had feedback from customers quite a few times is people these days move quite a lot, move around, move house, move countries even. Like it's not unheard of people to move countries, especially like say within Europe, to move within the EU's very, very common, or even further afield. And we've had a few times people say, I've got my metal, I've got it all in my home, I'm moving house or I'm moving countries. Can you help me? Like, what do I do? And it's a difficult one again, because it's physical. And if you're going across borders, it's going to be checked by somebody. And it's going to be an interesting conversation as governments don't like a lot of value being moved from one place to another. They just don't. So the advantage of having it in the vault is that it's not with you. You can move wherever you want. And the vault, the vaults that we have metals in are are in 5 locations around the world. So we're diversified in different locations, and we can move about, and it doesn't affect that. Again, this is stuff we never considered at the beginning, never even thought about. But time and experience and feedback helps you answer these questions.
Yeah.
The other thing that we've had people say is, okay, great, I get the point. Paper money in a bank, no good. Buy metals, great. And then they've said, I've got a safety deposit box in a bank and put my metals in there. And we've kind of because what happens is you go from a bank, out of the bank, and straight back to the bank. And we have heard of stories of banks finding out what's in people's safety deposit boxes and saying, when they wanted to take the metal out, they've actually said, we're not giving you the metal, but we'll give you the cash value of the metal.
The cash, yeah.
Yeah, really bizarre.
Happened.
It's not like something that happens every day. It's not something we hear every day, but we have had people have this experience.
So the bank have the authority to actually tell you, no, you can't have your metal back, but we're going to give you the cash value.
I guess they wouldn't say that or promote it, but that's what they said. And it's the whole thing, I guess, with like a bank account. We've had people say when the bank have been saying to people, oh, you can't send money there, or you can't do this, or we're not allowing you to do that. And customers have said, but it's my money. And the bank have said, yeah, but it's our bank account. And I guess that's the authority that they're acting under, that they're just saying, well, yeah, it might be your gold, but it's our box at the end of the day.
Wow.
Which, yeah, worries me a bit.
Yeah,
worries me,
rightly so.
So I think, look, nothing has zero risk. Nothing at all. No investment is zero risk. And anyone that says, look, buy this, X, Y, Z, it's zero risk, it's always going to go up, run a mile. It just doesn't happen. You know, this is real life we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's about reducing the risk as much as you can to a level that you're comfortable. And again, that's a personal thing. And that's where we feel the most comfortable with some metal close by should we need it. Hopefully we never need it. And the vast majority in the vault that it's insured, protected, it's audited every day. And then it's independently audited as well. So the vault's audited daily, and then the independent auditors do an audit of the audit. And it's like everyone trusts everyone and everyone trusts no one all at the same time. You've got those double checks. So yeah, I'll show you now it was a year ago, so October 2022, that myself and James got to go inside one of the vaults, which was absolutely mind-blowing. Like the most James Bond experience you're ever going to have. We were quite giddy. And we filmed the whole experience. And we'll put a link at the bottom of this video. It's our trip to Germany. You'll see us kind of going into the vault and stuff and that kind of thing. We'll show you some pictures now. But a lot of the footage, as you can understand, we had to get approval once we'd done all the filming and get it all approved. And the vast majority of it wasn't approved for security reasons, which we get and we appreciate, but it's frustrating at the same time. You want to show everybody. And I think as well, it's worth saying that the security of the vault was like nothing we've ever experienced. So I think you would probably imagine, you know, there's fences and codes and keys and those, the usual kind of things. But the level of detail that this vault had gone to through their experience in this field was just out of this world to this level of detail. So to get through one stage, there was multiple stages to get through.
Yeah.
You had to do an eye scanner. And it wasn't like in the films where you could, you know, they poke someone's eye out and they put it on a pen in front of the scanner. It had to have, it had to be alive with blood flowing through it. Same with a thumbprint. It had to have blood flowing through it. Also, when you were putting your thumb on the scanner, you couldn't see it, but there was a weight kind of plate, like scales underneath. So if I did, let's say you had access to the vault and I chopped your thumb off and managed to get some blood running through it or drag you there, if the weight didn't match up to your weight, then that wouldn't work. It's just to get into one level. Then there was codes.
Yeah.
And the codes were, let's say you have a keypad, like you put your PIN number in, and obviously the numbers are in a set configuration. Well, the numbers here, every time you press one number, it was on a digital display, the numbers scrambled and moved places. So if even someone over your shoulder saw that you pressed the top left button 4 times, they wouldn't know what the code was because all the numbers every time move. So they don't know the code. So this is the level of detail. Just that's like one level. Then you've got to do the scanning and all this kind of stuff. That's the next level. And there's multiple of these levels to get in. Like, just, yeah, madness.
Mind blow.
And all you do by getting through all these levels is get into the room where the vault is. That's not even into the vault. We then got into the room where the vault is, which is, So it's like, we just look at it like a fortress. There's multiple layers of protection. You know, a vault in a vault in a vault in a vault. And it's all about just time delay to get into any of that stuff. And by the time you get to the vault, we'll show you a picture of the vault door. You ain't getting in, let's put it that way. So I'll show you, I'll share my screen and show you this. So just for some context, this here, can you see that vault door?
Yeah.
So this room that we're in, as you can see here, this is like the edge of the kind of the wall, but it's within another room. Can you see that? So this is the vault that's in a room, and we had to go through all of these stages to get in the room just to see the vault. Then you've got this door, which extremely heavy, and we weren't even allowed to take pictures or film perpendicular to the door because we weren't allowed to see down the actual where the key goes, so the actual lock itself. They've thought of everything, they literally have. So there's multiple keys. The other thing is the people that work in this building, they don't mix. So certain people have access to certain parts and others have access to other parts, but they don't have access to everything. So they keep the knowledge separate. Yeah. Very interesting. So this is the main door. Once we went in through the main door, we had some metals here that were all bound up and packaged. And then we opened them. Because what we wanted to do, Matt, with this is we wanted to go and see our metals. Because I don't think we'll ever get access to the vaults again on this level. And as a customer, you're not able as a customer just to go in and see your metals, which we were upset about because we were like, well, there are metals, why can't we go and see them? But we like the fact that we can't go in because it means not everyone can go in. You know, you've not just got everyone looking at everyone's metals. It just reduces the security if more people are going in. So we want to see our metals. We unboxed some metals, and this is the inside of those boxes, the nice shiny stuff here. And just to say at this point, these are 12.5 kilo bars, 400 troy ounces of gold. And at the time, I think the value was it around 700,000 euros?
750,000 or something. Was about something. I think they told us at the time. Yeah.
Per bar.
Yeah.
So this is some serious stuff. I guess at this point saying, look, we don't own all of these bars. It's not just like
that'd be nice.
Yeah, we've got a few bars here. And the way that we buy is we own part of this larger bar with other customers as well. So everyone owns part of a bar. There could be thousands of owners of this bar, kind of like owning an apartment in an apartment complex. Yeah. So that's how we just before anyone thinks that we, we're just throwing these bars around.
You've got a timeshare.
Yeah, exactly. So part of these bars, this is what they was holding the bars, and I always at this point like to stress shiny kind of marks on our foreheads is because we were working really hard to hold these things still while the picture's taken. Like, they're heavy. 12.5 kilos. It's a good chunk, and also very dense. Like the size isn't that big really, which shows the density and obviously the value of the metal. This is James holding a bar that he owns part of, and what we wanted to do is, as you'll see here, these are the certain markings that are on every bar. So you've got the manufacturer, the refinery there. You got the purity, so 999.9. You got the code there from the manufacturer, and this serial bar number, which we'll zoom into in a second. When we buy metals, we know the serial bar number of the bar that we own. So what we did, we went to the vault, we got these bars that we own part of, and we pulled up our account next to it, and we matched the numbers. And that's what we did here. So as you can see, we've got 23403. And on James's account, you can see 23403. So we match the serial bar number that our account says with the actual bar itself. And this is, I guess, one of the questions that we always get asked is, well, how do you know the bars? How do you know the metals are really there? How do you know they're real? Blah, blah, blah. This is the reason that we can say that. And we did it, one, for ourselves, but two, to be able to show customers, to say, look, we've been on your behalf and gone through all of this. So
how difficult was it to get permission to go into that?
Extremely difficult.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the process of things that we would have never thought of that you wouldn't be able to film or take pictures of.
Yeah.
They were just like, no. We were like, I don't really understand why. That doesn't make sense. And then we explained, because this, and this. And we're like, okay, get it. Yeah, that's actually really important. Because we kind of interviewed them, and we had a big long chat about the history of the vault and all this stuff. And what they said is, it's not just about who's got the strongest fence or the biggest, thickest walls or any of these physical things that you can just go bigger and harder and stronger. It's about the process of how you put all of this together. So someone could match the physical barriers and the technical nature of getting into the vault, but if they didn't put it together in the same way, then the security goes right down. It's really fascinating, and that's why we use companies that have been in business for years, and they've got multiple locations. The good thing about that is, if something happens in one location, they upgrade everything and they pass it on to every other location. So you get the combination of the whole in each location.
So 150 years, I think, Adam, isn't it? They've been going, these guys. 150 years of experience and knowledge within the vaulting industry,
To the point that we asked them loads of different questions. What happens if there's a power cut? And they said the vault is sustainable on its own. It's got its own energy supply, renewable, and it's completely sustainable.
Wow.
The level of detail was ridiculous, even to the point of
very impressive.
Like the fence that they have. The fence looks nothing special, but the amount of microphones in the fence, the amount of visual stuff in the fence. They said that when they first set the vault up, they were calibrating some of the I think it was microphones in the fence. And the alarm went off, and they looked around, and it turns out there was an eagle that was flying above, and they'd not calibrated the microphones. The microphones were too sensitive, basically. A bird flying above tripped the alarm, so they recalibrated and this kind of stuff. So, stuff you just wouldn't imagine. They even said if someone on the next estate was like putting up some furniture and banging around and making some noise, they know about it. So the level is off the chart. And people always ask us, are the vaults secure? far more secure than the double lock on your house.
And was that in this country?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. But there are vaults in the UK.
Okay.
The locations we have access to are London, Zurich, Frankfurt, Singapore, and Munich. And vaults have different levels. They're given like different security levels.
Yeah.
The only ones that we have metals in are like the best in the world. They're the top rated. It's not someone's garage on an industrial estate or something like that. It's the real deal.
Yeah. Some of the locations, for security reasons, you wouldn't have a clue it was even there. You wouldn't know it was a vault. You just wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
The first one we went to one a few years ago, we didn't get this level of how do I put it, access.
Yeah.
But we didn't even, they asked us, they took us for a walk and said, well, where do you think the vault is? We had no idea. No idea. Well, that's the whole reason. That's the whole idea,
It was a bit of a run. It was a bit of a running joke, wasn't it? Because we said, "Okay, that's great. So where is it?" And they said, "Exactly." And we were like, "Oh yeah, funny." But where is it? And they were like, "Exactly." They weren't disclosing all the details, for good reason. So, I did the same. Took my bar. You see there, that angle's quite nice because you can see all of the numbers.
Yeah.
And then again, matched it up 23404, 23404. Owning part of this bar. So we just like to show those as a just to show people what it's actually like, and it's the real deal. And if people do want to see the full trip that we did, and you can see more of the vault, then we'll stick a link in the description, and people can watch that as well. So I think, look, just to sum up, start with the end in mind. Buy metals with your eyes open. If you're holding them with you're kind of on your own. If you want to sell them, it's over to you. You can't really switch. We've never found a way to switch metals that you have physically with you. It's probably going to be more expensive as far as silver with VAT, sales tax, and also security wise, it's on you, which you got to gauge your level. So look at what you're happy with, look at the options, and then I guess allocate accordingly. You can be diversified, but just allocate accordingly. And it can turn a good investment of moving paper money into metals into a really great investment, because you've not got any additional problems. You've covered all the problems that come from moving something digital into something physical. And it can be a positive experience for you, which is all we ever want, really, is just people to have a positive experience, beginning, middle, and end of their investing journey.
Yeah. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah. So
sound common sense advice, as ever, boys.
Yeah. Again, not the sexiest thing. We're not telling you gold's going to go to the moon in the next week, but we're just telling you how to protect and secure what you've got. So it's worked well for us.
Very informative.
Yeah. Great.
Oh, great stuff. We try our best, don't we, Adam?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's everything that we share is just things that we wish we knew at the start. This whole journey it's 10 years for me personally. It's been a big learning journey for us, and there's many things we would have done differently. And that's what we're just sharing.
I think it's brilliant that you boys have gone through that and haven't decided to keep this information to yourself and are able to share it with everybody. I think it's fantastic what you guys do.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
I think if we showed pictures to our families about going in the vault, they wouldn't be that interested. So we've got to show someone that might be interested. I'm sure there'll be people out there that'll get something from it. And if people want help with any of this stuff, then just get in contact with us. We're here to help, and we'll tell you how it is. We'll be honest with you about our experience, and if that gives you any help, then great.
Brilliant stuff, boys. Well done. Keep up the great work.
Cheers. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt, lads.
We'll speak soon.
You take care, mate.
Cheers,
Take
boys.
care. Cheers. Bye.
See you.